Who's Your Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Who's Your Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hag Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents. Who's Your Trapper Deer Scents. And Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
All right, welcome to episode 11, season 11, Who's Your Trapper Outdoors. On this episode, we will be on the first day in Arkansas. So we'll round out the season with our Arkansas trip. So I think you'll enjoy that. It's familiar ground, but then again, we have some new experiences on this trip as well. So keep an eye out for those. I want to remind everyone also of the Trap House podcast. It runs every other week. We just did one last week with Stu Miller from Coon Creek Outdoors. If you haven't had a chance to look at it, you might take a look at it or listen to it either way. And look for those in the future every other Friday. I want to mention the photo contest, the Show Us Your Bottle photo contest. Just get a picture of yourself, your catch, or your success with whatever product you use from the Leatherwood line, which includes Top Dog Predator bait, and also it also would include our deer scent. So get a chance basically to win a $100 gift card, and that is by drawing. So we're not judging your photo; it's just so everybody has an equal chance. But the better quality photos are certainly appreciated because those will ultimately be used in the catalog and on the website. So put some thought into those photos and get a better chance to get on the cover. I think that is basically it. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll have a podcast out the day before New Year's Eve, but we'll mention it again then too. But anyways, I wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Arkansas, we made it.
Yep, made it Arkansas. Kind of our traditional trip for sure. Been doing it a long time. This particular location is our starting point. Typically, we filmed a lot of entries to the show at this location. We're in the truck this time, but
gotta change it up.
Yeah,
It's yeah, like you said, we've been doing this for a long time, but it's changed a lot over the years, that due to logging, prescribed burn areas.
Yeah, primarily just the multi-use of this national forest, which is all about sustainability and, the greater, how much good you can get out of an area. So, obviously it's great for hunters and trappers and loggers and others that want to take part in this forest, and it's all managed and it's sustainable. So it's kind of cool. But driving in here this morning, we went through some serious smoke hanging in the atmosphere. So somewhere they're doing some burning for sure. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that affects animal movement for this trip.
Right.
So
yep, right here in this spot, it doesn't seem to be too bad, but we're down.
Mm-hmm.
Where the smoke, so the smoke seemed to be hanging out a little bit higher than this, but
yeah. So today we're just gonna bust our butt and just set as many traps as possible,
right,
in locations that we think are good,
right,
all the way go till sundown today.
Yep. And we're kind of hit or miss. I mean, this place, we've been coming here long enough that we've got a really good history of what places have consistently produced, what places sometimes produce, and then some places where you scratch your head and this should produce and it hasn't produced. So
right.
And then some we might bypass this year because it just didn't produce the past 2 or 3 years. But then then you come back and set it a couple years after because we've got a long enough history here, and then it turns out it might be a good location again. So sometimes you just can't completely figure it out. Or even attempt to. So
yeah,
but yeah, that's kind of the plan for the day. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a nice day. I think it's sunny, nice, 60. Just got a bit of a air of smoke in the air.
Yep. Go set some traps.
Yep.
Really hope all this burning doesn't affect us too much on the trap line. I'm sure it definitely is going to run some animals off, but they'll come back. Just the question is when. So just working with the areas we have. We'll see what happens. Pretty interesting set I got here, Charlie.
As you can see, this is I think you can see it, the road divider of a controlled burn that wasn't done very long ago. Clearly they're doing that because there's smoke in the air right now. So somewhere near here they're doing it too. So
yeah.
So we've never set in an actual right after they burned it area.
No, not like this fresh. I put a flat set in there, long distance on that twig, and some liquid fox and coyote bait at the base of it.
Okay.
Bobcat urine. Try to blend it back in.
Yep.
I'm hoping I'm not going to have issues with flipped off trap, because this happened at this location. I don't know if it was last year, but maybe the year before. I set this edge, and we had like 3 days in a row where the trap pulled out or flipped off, and it's because I can't bed it solid. It's so gravelly and rock. So I thought maybe if I come on this side it might help, and you know, it was just as bad. So hopefully we can he steps in the right spot and not flip the trap out of there.
Yep.
Whatever it may be. I think you're right, Charlie. This smoky, charred, I think it draws attraction to animals. We've set on the side of campfires, and people have used charred logs as backing.
I mean, I think in this scenario,
it's got its own appeal.
Yeah, in this scenario, you know, of course, this has been burned a little while ago, obviously, but you got what the fire exposes for the critters to see.
Yes.
You know, so, but anyways, first time we've ever actually done this, so I guess we'll find out.
We'll see what happens. We got a week or so. See what happens.
The controlled burn is still in place, so nobody's here watching. Evidently, nobody's too concerned about it. It's kind of dry, though. I mean, it doesn't look like they've had much rain, so I guess it's not an issue.
Charlie's doing his notes here. People ask how we keep track of things, and it's easy to get, you know, switched around out here. You do it multiple seasons, and you might go check a spot that you didn't actually even set because of previous years.
Yeah, we do pretty good by memory, but yeah, we definitely keep track of that.
Lots of notes.
So, winding down on the first day of setting. We may set a few more yet. It's getting dark though. Sun's going down. We set up 30 locations. Most locations have 2 traps. So pretty good a day, first day.
Yeah, we hit it pretty hard today. We didn't have too many things that got in the way of us setting. I think we'll have decent weather a few days. We do have rain coming in this week at some point. I'm not really sure how much.
I was thinking today, so we've had ice storms, we've had torrential rains, we've had snowstorms, we've had dust bowl storms. Like
we have it all.
We've had it all, and this time we've had the Forest Service is doing a bunch of controlled burning, so there's a lot of smoke here. So
yeah,
so that's kind of a first for that. I mean, we've passed through it before on the way to places, but we've never been really kind of right in it. So
yeah, we've never actively set in an active burn area. So comment below if you have, and tell us what you've went through or witnessed, or because it's going to be interesting. We're going to see how that affects the animals. And
I mean, in a way, you would think, well, it ought to get them stirred up.
Yeah, get things moving. I was telling Charlie too, like all the mice and things like that would be on the move. Would coyotes take advantage of that?
I would think so.
I would think so too. So we'll see. Or do they just tuck tail and get out of here?
Probably a little of both, but yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
It's not aggressive burning. I mean, it's just they're burning underbrush and that kind of thing. It's not like a forest fire. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Be interesting.
Be fun. We got like 30 locations set, so we'll have plenty of stuff to check tomorrow.
Yep. Then set till dark and do it again on whatever day that is. Losing track already. Tuesday, I guess. So.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
Oh, check day 1.
Trap number 1.
Trap number 1. Me and Charlie went sun up to sundown yesterday, set as many traps as we possibly could, trying to beat out some weather that's on its way. And hopefully this is a good sign for the trip, but I don't want to curse ourselves here with the jinx. But first trap of the whole trip, we got ourselves the bobcat. This location has changed a lot over the years. It's been tore up by a bunch of trucks, and a lot of stuff been tore out of here, trees and underbrush.
Well, yeah, it's all been logged.
It's all been logged. We've caught coyotes and gray fox here over the years, and but this is the first cat at this location, and I'm going to dedicate this set here to Jake. He couldn't be here with us due to school, but that's his old trap bed. If Jake was here, we're going to say that's Jake's cat right there. That one's for him.
Yep. Yeah, we miss him. This is the first time we've ever been on this trip that Jake has not been with us.
Yep. And don't let the label fool you. That cat was caught on a coyote carnage. Top dog and some bobcat urine.
So let me explain the first catch. Purely coincidental, but sometimes when the first trap produces, the rest of the day is not so good. The worst example was when we went to New Mexico, and the very first trap we checked, we caught a gray fox.
Yeah.
And it was in terms of catching, it was the worst trip we've probably ever been on. So the first trap omen or whatever is like I said, it's interesting to think about it. It's purely coincidental. I'm not a superstitious person at all, but it is funny.
We always say the first trap is as good as the last, so we'll see what happens on the very last trap of the trip. Let's see if it's got a bobcat in it. Cool, we're going to take care of him. We'll show you the remake and get on down the road. Alright, finishing up this remake. Little Vixen elixir there for... Doesn't take much. Hit the front side of that rock, let it drip down. Top dog was missing out of that hole, so I went ahead and replaced the bait and covered up with a little bit of grass. Pretty well blended. This whole area is real disturbed. Gonna have plenty of cat urine, bobcat pee here. So that I like the rock as a backing. It's wedged in there. It's not moving.
There's a few rocks here too.
Yeah, there are a few rocks here in Arkansas. But yeah, I like it. It's a lot of chaos here. The trap's real close to the hole. I think we got a good chance connecting again before our time runs out here in Arkansas. So
what we're doing too is we are using cover holes, which we typically use down here, and then we're sifting some dirt from the site on the set for blending purposes.
Right.
It has been very dry here. All the creeks are low. You know, it's been dry.
It's the driest it's ever been for us here.
Yes. Usually it's pretty wet. So
for now.
It is supposed to rain the next couple days, but I don't think it's going to amount to a whole lot, at least at this point. So. Yeah.
This is off to a great start today. So hopefully this somewhat continues.
Yeah.
Hate to be greedy, but this is kind of fun when you catch a bunch of stuff.
We'll take care of him, show the remake. You know what lure you're using, Charlie?
Finicky.
Finicky feline?
Finicky feline, top dog of course, and some bobcat urine. These gray foxes, we always used to catch quite a few, and then they kind of went down in numbers, and I think it was more just dynamics of predators, how they shifted and stuff, more coyotes in the area or whatever. So, but I don't think we've caught a coyote on this road. yet. I think we've just caught gray foxes and bobcats on this road. So I don't know if that, I'm not a biologist, but that's just that's speculation on my part. So anyways, I hopefully catch a few more grays, because they're cool, they're beautiful, and they're fun to catch, and we don't have them at home. So yeah, pretty neat.
And they have an attitude.
And they have an attitude. All right, evidently I don't have any finicky felines, so I'm just going to put Vicks and Elixir on here. Got Top Dog down in the hole. I'm not going to put any urine down. This thing smells of gray fox. It already had the bobcat urine here. That's all I'm going to do. I've got a rock shoved in on top of the bait. 2 reasons. 1, exposed bait law here, and number 2, they really got to work to get to that bait. So when they're working, hopefully they get caught. It's still got the curiosity of a dirt hole, even though the hole's partially covered up. So
all right, it's not the gray fox we were looking for. Got ourselves a possum over here. Grinner. Set was over here, and he wrapped up over there. Had this one on a drag. We're trying our best to stake it
as much as we possibly can.
Much as possible. Use stakes. But this one, ground was so hard I had to throw a drag in and wrapped it up on this log and brush. But we'll take care of him, get this remade real fast so we can get down the road.
So I had a friend of mine the other day, good trapper, been trapper as long as I have, and he was like, I never catch anything after I have a possum, so I'm putting in clean sets. And I was like, you don't have to do that. You catch lots of stuff after you catch possums, so we are resetting the trap. We're not putting a new set in. So
exactly.
Trapping has been a lifelong passion of mine. Back in 1976, I started Hoosier Trapper Supply, and we've had the privilege of serving trappers across this great country for all these years. We carry a complete line of traps and trapping equipment. You can check us out at HoosierTrapperSupply.com. All right, Q&A. So we just had a question a little while ago on the phone about cubby sets. And cubby sets are going to be good for bobcats, not so good on coyotes, not because they're too closed in. Probably be okay on a gray fox. Certainly a raccoon or a possum will, make their way into that too. One nice thing about cubby sets is if you're going to expect a lot of rain or a lot of snow or whatever, it does help protect your attractant and your trap from that. One mistake that I have seen, actually firsthand, a guy on a cubby set, he actually had the trap placed where the animal can actually put his foot because the cubby wasn't that tall. So be very careful with that. Make sure your cubby is adequate in height for whatever target animal you're going after. Cats are on their own agenda, bobcats. So if you're having issues with commitment, it probably does not necessarily relate to the cubby. It's probably just that cat. A lot of times, the majority of the bobcats that we catch in dirt hole sets. And sometimes you'll see a track right on the edge of the pattern where they're just not super interested. They're just not interested in working the bait or the hole or whatever. They were just thought, man, I'll take a look and, and move on. So, just like your house cat, they are completely on their own agenda. Guys, I have not personally experienced this, but guys have told me that they'll have flagging set up or whatever, and they'll have a photo, have a trail cam on their set, and they'll have a photo of a cat just sitting there looking at that thing flying around, that flagging, and the cat just moves on after a while. He just gets bored with it. So cats are cats. They're not particularly intelligent in terms of wariness on working a set. It's just more whatever frame of mind or whatever agenda they're on. So just hang in there. They'll probably eventually commit if they come back through. That's probably the biggest thing you're fighting with cats, is just waiting them out, waiting them for them to do what they want to do. So, someone also mentioned the skunk market under the Groenwald podcast. He may or may not buy skunks. I really don't know. I'm assuming he probably does, but you should be able to find a ready market for skunks, the skins. Almost all of that goes to the novelty trade, but you can ship to fur harvesters. Assuming Groenwald buys them, but I can't say for sure. And then the skunk essence itself is quite valuable. You can probably sell the skull on the skunks, and also the fat of a skunk has a value. So some lure makers will buy skunk fat. We personally don't, but some will. So skunk fat has a value. When you extract the essence from the skunk, the two glands, they call them pods sometimes, those empty actually have a value too, not near as much as essence. So there's a lot of value on a skunk, similar to a beaver. So it's definitely one of the better animals to catch. So whether or not it's not going into the traditional fur trade per se, but there's enough novelty market out there that it keeps the skunk market in good shape. So I hope that helps clear up that question. Keep those questions coming in. We'll continue to answer them. And I think that's it.
Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country.